Good morning, guys. It's day 6, and I'm so grateful that you're pushing along. We are halfway there, and I know that you can make it. Just keep surrendering to Jesus Christ, and you will make it through. I know that you're also seeing the blessings that are coming from this challenge as we speak. So, as always, I know that you're busy, so let's get right to it. For Christians, we've been told time and time again that we need to look like Jesus Christ. Our character needs to be molded after Jesus Christ, and that if we behold him long enough, then we'll become changed. And for many individuals who are outside of Christianity, they hear things about Christ, they hear things about God, they hear bad things, they hear good things, but they don't really know who this God character is and what his character looks like. So the fundamental question is, what is God really like? If I'm supposed to be like Jesus Christ, what is he really like? For those who don't know about him, who are interested, what is he truly like? For those who are being told that those negative connotations that they've heard of him are not true, then tell me, what is Jesus Christ really like? What is God really like? Well, to do this, we have to look into this thing called the sanctuary. But before we get to the sanctuary, let's understand this fundamental principle that's found in John chapter 14, verse 6. John chapter 14, verse 6, where it says, Jesus Christ speaking, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Now let's focus on the first part. Jesus Christ said, I am the way. What is this way, and where can this way be found? Well, the psalmist Asaph gives us an answer to that question in Psalms chapter 77, verse 13, where he says, Thy way, O God, is in the sanctuary. So if I want to know the way of God, if I want to know more about Jesus Christ, who Jesus Christ is, or anything that has to do with Jesus Christ, the one place that I can look and find those answers is in the sanctuary. So what is the sanctuary? Well, there are 3 sanctuaries in building form that we read of in the Old and the New Testament. The first one that we read of is found during the exodus of the children of Israel, as they had the sanctuary that they carried with them in the desert. The second one that we see is the one that Solomon had built, and that one was destroyed by the Babylonians. The third one that we see is the one that was built by Zerubbabel, and that one was destroyed by the Romans. But we don't really need to go to a physical sanctuary to have anything to build a relationship with God. Yes, we should go to church, but Paul tells us that the Spirit of God dwells within us because we are now the sanctuary. We are now the house that God desires to dwell in. But there was a physical house that God dwelt in the Old Testament, and this is seen in Exodus chapter 25, verse 8, where God commands Moses to tell the people to build him a sanctuary so that he can dwell with them. In Exodus chapter 25, it reads, and let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. So he desired to dwell in the midst of his people. And what happened here is that the children of Israel built this sanctuary. It looked like this rectangular shape, and the 12 tribes would break up into 3 groups. One group of 3s would end up on the east, one group of 3s on the west, one group of 3s on the north, and one group of 3s on the south. And there were captains to these groups. Now, in front of these groups, there were banners on poles, and these banners had symbols on it, and it's very significant what these banners stood for. Now, we get an understanding of what banners stand for in the Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 5. In Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 5, it says, "His banner over me is love." So these banners represent the love of God. Now, the generic description of who God is God is love. Yes, we know that, but he wants us to get into more depth of what that love means, what it represents. He wants to break it down for us. And on the symbols that were laid in on these banners breaks down or describes in a way that our human minds can be able to grasp just a small glimpse of the love of God, which we could never truly understand. It'll take us an eternity to understand the love of God. But the symbols that are found on these banners gives us a glimpse that our human minds can be able to fathom on the love of God, the character of God, the breakdown of that character. So again, there were 4 banners. These banners represented the love of God, and there were symbols on these banners, one symbol for each banner. So there were 4 symbols. The first symbol would be a lion, was a lion. The second symbol was an ox. The third symbol was a man, and the fourth symbol was an eagle. Each one of these symbols represent the character, the characteristics that make up the personality of God, that make up the character of God, that comprise the love of God. And each one of these characteristics God desires to see within us. Now, as we go further in these lectures, we're going to go one by one through each of these symbols, through each of these characteristics. And we're going to understand the depths of these characteristics, how it applies to God and how it applies to us, and how we can attain this character that God desires of His to be seen within us by the entire world. So, if you're ready, let's go on, beginning with the character of the lion.